FM every Thursday from 7 p.m. Hosted by Officer Sawapya Allah and Officer Mathkoya.
West to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Live every Thursday night from 7 p.m. on the streets. 91.9.
Yeah, shalom again. This is ISUPK Trinidad and Tobago under Commanding General Yohana and Prison Officer Swapiala.
Prison Officer Mathkoya.
And again, joining us again here tonight in the studio is, Dave, right? So again, we out again on the program tonight, to bring that reminder to brothers and sisters, to enlighten them, and to make brothers and sisters know that the Most High God, always, look over, the children of the nation of Israel, right, in providing, the necessary aid and need, that He has always done for us, in the time of our captivity, in the time of us being under the arms of our oppressor, right? And again, these are reminders for us, right? So again, I just want to remind brothers and sisters that our school location is, number 1 Morris Street, Point 14. Again, we invite our brothers and sisters, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, right? Again, they are the Lord's chosen people, right? To who the Most High God has chosen, to look over His affairs, as He has set up, this earth, to be right in His sight, right? So, these are reminders for us. Again, we have again young man, brother Dave, right? Again, I just add in the young again. Take this brother, we met this brother. He could have choose not to come here tonight, right? This was by choice, right? And the brother, the invitation, showed up and, say Musa and Christ, so that, right? And, the brother, has, a lot, to share, but again, within that brief, time that we have or allotted, on the program, we would, like the brother, to really, give a very brief, introduction, as well as, to enlighten brothers, young brothers, right, that the life that they have provided for us here, it is a life that we should, shun from or move our spirit away from, because, again, we would pull up the stats as well, on that on prison program, because again, the brother himself, shared, while interacting with him on the streets, right, in Port of Spain, and, it very important as well. So I know if you want to introduce yourself, brother, right?
Well, I'm the young brother, Dave.
Right.
Good night to everybody.
Right.
And, I joined this movement because I dealing with changes.
Right.
I fed up the way how I live in, so I come out voluntarily to advise other young men like me or younger men than me.
Right.
They really study the government, study the Creator, the Most High,
Right.
and be willing, if you had to pick up bottles and all, to try to keep out of the system. All lives changes. There are people on the streets, like this movement here, I never know them no way. And the first time I approached them, I was accepted with the arms open, no plaything, no jokey thing, and I decided to come tonight, to see if I could share an experience with the youths.
Right.
So I'm glad to be here.
Musa and Christ,
Musa and Christ.
Musa and Christ. And I know as young brother, Dave, start to, learn more, right? As you say, he willing to learn more, and this is a step, in change, and that is, as we say, like the Lord, in His work, right? Because now everything that we honor is unto the Lord, because the Lord is the one who would really open up that pathway, open us up, to enlighten or to bring the awareness to brothers and sisters, right? So, in, asking young Dave, right, to share his experience, because again, young man Dave, right, or, Dave had, life experience, in prison, right, and to be in prison. You know, some people just come and, you know, talk about it, but actually have somebody live
Right.
to give you a proper insight on it, right? It will be more clearer, again, especially for young black men, Hispanic men, and Native Indian men, because now the family that we belong to should always be reminded of this, especially a man with children, right? I know, I just want to ask, you know, young man Dave, right, as a brother, you know, growing up, right, you know, and you know, again, you know, we just want to be brief, you know, in sharing, you know, your little history, right? Again, you're a family man, right?
Yeah.
Right. How much, if you don't mind asking, you know, a father of how much?
I have 3 daughters.
Right. A father of 3 daughters, right? And you know,
Chanel, Shanice, and Chanel.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, the brother, you know, that just sharing, you know, his again his life experience, and the important people understand the importance of how important this is to the black community right now in Trinidad,
Okay.
especially what we facing daily, the challenges that we facing daily. To have our brother come on the program and, you know, just share that,
Right.
you know, it is very important. Also, and what when you're ready, you could always,
Yeah,
you know,
can
chime
I say for
in.
me?
Yeah,
To
go
the
ahead, man.
this will be to the listening audience outside if anybody want to call in and give their 2 cents as well too, or give their experience. You know what I mean? The number to call is 342-0081, 466-5391, or 771-1791. We'll also like to hear from the people on the outside listening to the program as well. Any advice, you know, you like to give young man Dave, or experiences that he might go through.
Right.
You understand? Could call in and share it with us brief, you know? And let me understand what really happening with the people and them on the outside.
That's right. Right. So again, you know, feel free to call in. You know, and again, you could ask, you know, questions. You know, you could pose it to young man Dave, or, you know, to us as well, right? And, you know, just to ask, you know, what would be, you know, again, that experience or that life in prison, right? You know, some people, you know, would give, you know, like to enlighten brothers, right? Because now we want to make sure that we're directing this in the right pathway, right? And that right pathway is you know, to bring the advice, you know, for brothers and, you know, sisters as well.
Correct.
You know, to turn away from that life, right? Because, you know, just to ask, you know, again, young man Dave, you know, to share, you know, like a life experience, you know, in being in the prison, right? And, you know, again, everything it's so censored, right? You don't have to go in details, but, you know, you just brief like a brief insight for brothers and sisters, you know, to understand that life, right?
Yeah. Well, I spent 8 years in prison, and it is not no bed of roses. It's a place where you can do what you want to do as a human being, which freedom is very important. You know, the condition they living in it poor. You know, it's not nothing like rehabilitation. You know, they just use these words to have the prison running and make people feel everything is everything. You know, but what I could advise the young people in prison, the younger fellas, the fellas who have intention of doing wrong thing, crimes, I could advise them they're not good. It is not a good place, it's a horrible place. You know, it can make your life worse, it can make your life a living nightmare. What you have to do, you know, try and stay focused, as I said before, don't depend on the government, depend on the creator, depend on yourself. You know, you must have some talent, have work, you have things to do out there. You could invent your own, you could create your own thing to make money come, because I came out from here and I had nothing. And these same movement, these same brothers, they assist me with 1 case of water, and I keep turning it over, and I still turning over, because I'm doing this to stay out of the prison, to stay out of trouble. And if I could do that, anybody else could do that, because while I'm in prison, I get 2 murder cases. You know, the creator was on my side, so I went in the court and win it. You know, so it is not a bed of roses, Lane. Everybody know who's listening. Jail is not a bed of roses, and I'm giving all the youths advice. Try to stay out of here. Listen to all your mother, listen to all your father, listen to the elder, listen to the right thing. And I believe everybody could change your life, and be what they want to be. Because I don't believe nobody want to be bad. I
Right.
don't believe nobody want to do evil things
Right.
in a circumstances, situations. So I encouraging all the young people to hear my voice, and I expect to be here more and more, to share more and more things, because as we say, time is limited, you know, and stay strong, keep on focusing on the creator, that is most important. And when they come out of the, whoever in the try and do come back by staying focused, you know, staying focused, trying to create some kind of living. Don't say the government is doing this and the government is doing that. You try and do for yourself.
Right.
You know, thanks.
Right. Again, I appreciate that. Yeah, anything to add.
Yeah,
Right. So again, we like to hear from the callers as
Right.
well too. Now, to call in, and ask some question. Pose a question to the brother, because now, as you said, it ain't no better Roselle. We hearing
Right.
it direct from our brother. As we say, what that was on charges.
Right.
Not just, as we say, no play or no game. Because now the importance of this is to reach, as we say, the young brothers, or young black men. Because
Right.
now we see, as we say, that a lot of things is happening in the black community.
Right.
And the way out of the black community, the Most High God always provide that way.
Right.
And He always bring that reminder as well to us, right? And the importance of us actually, turning to the Lord, the Most High God would always direct that pathway. Because now, again, the brother here, right, he just give a brief detail, on that life. And brothers, or sisters, shouldn't venture down that pathway. Because our brother, again, three young girls. Now imagine now, again, you are young girls now, and they would be interacting with young men. Now, these men and them having a father as yourself, should be able to, to bring these men and them, so you could be able to share that life experience with these men and them, to make it known to these men and them, hey, as you say, taking my daughter hands in, as you say, in marriage, right? You should be aware, and you're reminding your daughters as well. Do again, try to pressure out, to bring pressure down on your husband. You had to work together, right? Because not working together now, as we see a lot of, our brothers and sisters brothers on a whole would venture onto that life, because now the lifestyle that could bring about, as we say, situation like this. And we'll read a little stats on the history of how prison started, or this whole prison program started, and the amount of money that is generated. And we just only using 2025, and I was amazed to see what is allocated just to have that program running, just to keep brothers, and again, or brothers on a whole, being holed up, as you say, in a facility that don't even, give a care about, your lifestyle or any rehabilitation program, as you brought out, right?
So like I say,
yeah,
from me, right? Just to add a little bit to what you're saying, and something we had to look at too. As we just always say, time after time you come on the radio station, you understand? The young black men and young black women, they look up to somebody like a father figures, somebody to look at as a role model. You understand? And the religious institutions, we have churches in almost every community, every zone. But what we had to ask ourselves is, what they doing to assist young black men or guide them, you understand, in a way whereby they will end up in the prison system, black men and black women. You understand? When we read the Bible, you're seeing whereby our forefathers, they prophesied, you understand, about prison being in the Bible, where we will go as a people in prison if we fail to adhere to the rules or the laws of the Most High. And just as we always say, every house have rules, every business have rules, every institution have rules. You understand? And if we don't obey the rules of these institutions or businesses, then it will not be able to run effective. You understand? So now this nation, black people, Hispanics and Native Indians, if we do not adhere to the rules of the Lord, do not adhere to the rules of the Most High, then our nation will be ineffective. It will not be able to run properly. You understand? And not adhering to the rules of the Lord, this is where the curses of the Lord come in. Where he say in the book of Deuteronomy 28, if we fail to obey his rules,
Right.
these curses is going to overtake us.
Right.
You understand?
That's
and if
right.
we adhere, then we will be above all these other nations. As you go in, as you're just rightfully saying, when you're going to look at the statistics of black people in the prison system, you're going to see whereby who is the majority of people being in the system,
Right.
in the jail. You understand? And then you have to ask now, where is the solution
Right.
to keep blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians out of the prison system? You understand? So like I said.
Right, and again, you know, give it up for the brother again for bringing out that, because again, that strong point. And, you know, we always tell brothers and sisters there's always a solution
Right.
to every problem. And that solution now do come from our thought, you know, or our, you know, or we, you know, thinking or bringing up our own concept of our recorded history, which is the Bible. You know, it actually have the solution to every problem.
Right.
Now, to get the solution to that problem, now you must find yourself, you know, under that as we say, that umbrella,
Right.
under that wing of righteous black men teaching you this. Because now, to know that book is our recorded history,
Right.
now you could actually look towards knowing, hey, I belong to this family, I belong to this house. Let me go back and ask questions, you know, to get instructions on how to, you know, to make change.
Right.
You know, and as we had the brother on the program, we tell brothers again, or sisters, anybody, you know, the listening audience, to call in the program, take the opportunity, you know, to call and ask, because the brother just brought out some very heavy and very valid, and what he mentioned, it shouldn't be, you know, to the top of our minds, because to venture down that pathway, or to end, as we say, to be, as we say, 8 years, you know, not being around your family.
Right.
That is not a nice thing, and especially, as you say, having daughters. Now, the example in being that, you know, again, Abraham, as I said, the Lord had to be with you.
Right.
The Lord had to be with you. And this brother, again, you know, again, as we say, we thank the Lord, you know, that, you know, brothers like him and more brothers as well, you know, could, you know, venture on and, you know, actually come and ask questions, right? Because again, we always remind brothers and sisters that we not affiliated with no religious group or organization.
Right.
We are about with people. This is where it is. This is not, as we say, any movement. This is what the Lord had created from the foundation. A people that who he choose, just as you say, to be a royal and a special people
Right.
unto himself. Because now, to be that people, now you must portray or demonstrate the example of your father,
Right.
or have that, as we say, that repetition. So when somebody point or look at you now, they would say, hey, yeah, now you from your father as of a high status. That's why I say this is, as the scripture again say,
Right.
that these people is a wise and understanding people.
Can.
Right now, look at we right now, and again we will just read a little bit. Right, I have a little article here that read. Right, they say prison in Trinidad and Tobago begin with early colonial structure in St. Joseph in 1592. Right, Port of Spain. Right, evolving into a famous royal goy after a fire distress. So it started within that, which how long that period of time, but we know what was taking place at that
Right.
time. Remember, again, a little brief history. The people them who was here way before was the indigenous people, right? So imagine they now being, as we say, being put, as we say, behind, as we say, or put in these facilities. Imagine what the facility was at that time.
Right.
And we in 2025, the state at the facility right now, where we say things evolve, right? And you know, the experience that this brother just brought out, it is like somebody telling you, hey, this is how it is, but actually and true, you actually hear it. Then the brother brought out some, and it's not like, you know, and we tell brothers and sisters that we don't condone violence, right? We don't support, you know, any as you say, anything that will go against the law, especially the law of the land. We try to keep brothers on that pathway. We deal straight. We tell brothers, hey, in coming in or coming to know this, you have to be direct with us, right? And again, as you know, the brother continue to, as we say, as he start to learn more and more about this, you know, he would, you know, we would always, you know, use that example where brothers and sisters again could ask questions. And this is why again we use the opportunity tonight with this platform, especially bringing this brother on the program, so our people, you know, could actually call and ask a question.
Right.
The young black men could call in and ask a question, right? And again, we take this opportunity. So again, callers, you know, feel free to call in, right?
The number to call in is 342-0081 466-5391 or 771-1791.
Right. So
Something we have to also look at too. So like I say, if I may, you understand? As you're saying, with young black men and young black women understanding this. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, it is a school. This school is to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians their true culture, their true history, their nationality, who they are. You understand? Again, the Bible have absolutely nothing to do with religion.
right.
The Bible is dealing with a chosen people, a royal people. The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. When you read the Bible, you could see all the other races or nations in the Bible. Meaning you will be able to understand the East Indians, the Chinese, the Syrians, the Africans, and what role they played against our people. To have our people in this condition that we are in. You understand? And also too, is going to learn how we as a people could come out of this condition that we're in. We're in the Christian church and in religion, singing and dancing, generation after generation. But when you look, there's absolutely no change within our black communities, within our families. You understand? But if we as a people start recognizing and understanding who we are, start understanding our identity, what spirit Christ came and put on his people, you understand, the laws that Moses laid out for us to follow, then we're going to understand our family is not just subjected to our house. It is not only subjected to our home as we have been taught traditionally with a mother and a father and a brother and a sister. You're going to realize all black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, woman, and child, they are your family. And there is a way that we're supposed to go about as a people in treating each other, dealing with each other. And if we make errors, how we're supposed to communicate with one another and resolve these matters or that problem. Because everything is in the Bible.
That's right.
You understand? But when we make errors and we go to the other nations in their judicial system or in their way for them to solve the matter, they're going to do as they please or they're going to do as far as they understand. You understand? And when we look at it now, we're spending X amount of years in the jail system or in the prison house or in their system when the Lord showed us exactly what we need to do as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The ghettos could police themselves.
Right.
We don't have to go to the other nations to police ourselves, but these are things that we have been taught. You understand? From generation to generation, but we could police ourselves. We could make our communities better. We could raise our communities in higher standards.
That's right.
You understand? But we must return to what Moses laid out for us and the prophets. We must return to what the Lord tell us as a people we need to do. Because for how much years we're in the church and we are not doing the Bible. We're talking it, but we are not doing it. So like you said.
Right, and again, you know, every point, right, and the importance of us actually knowing who we are, especially today. Imagine, we as we say, as the brother brought out that, you know, as we say, being, you know, in a facility, you know, where there is no aid or need or assistance. We under this oppression over 400 years. And the Most High God, as any good father, always make that pathway. And he would always open up ways for his children to make change. right? He always set that precedent, because now he, being a father, would always have rules.
Right.
And when he set the rules, and again, those standards now, the expectation of you going against it, right, there would always be a correction pathway where you could make that change. And our correction pathway is actually turning back to these instructions.
Right.
Right? So, and this is why it's important for us. Right? Yeah, we
Remember them that are in bonds in the book of Hebrews.
right, go ahead.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 3. Remember them that are in bonds, as bond with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body.
Right? And this reminder goes as I say, very, very heavy, as we say, very, enlightening as
Right.
well. Because now to know, and as the brother again came to us, we understand, the importance of being a brother
Right.
to our brother. Because now to face challenges in life, especially, we know, as we say, throughout North, Central, and America, even
Yeah,
the
okay.
Caribbean, as a black man coming out of prison, immediately they would always highlight you as somebody, as a threat to society.
Right.
But now, that change now could come about with you proving to them that, hey, I have a father.
Right.
Because now again, in this school, we have prison programs. We have rehabilitation programs.
Right.
So as a young man, or as we say, as we always call brothers, as the venture towards this, we call them young, because now this is you wanting to make that change within yourself.
Right.
Now, as we say, the walk towards that now is that fight. But here the nice thing about it, to know that you have brothers supporting you.
Right.
All you just have to do is just be a brother. That's why Christ said this, on these two hang all the laws and the commandments. The first is like unto the second, to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, and the second is like unto it, to love your brother as yourself.
Come on.
Now we must understand that love is just not a hug and a kiss.
Right.
That the demonstration of love is actually, meeting your brother.
Right.
You must meet your brother. Because now we, as we say, we face the same challenges daily.
Right.
Now without that, as we say, the spirit of brotherhood, without that family actually knitting together, our brothers knitting together, now they would win. Why I say the oppressors and them would win? Because now look at their establishment.
Right.
Look at what they build off of us, not knitting together. Yes, so, yeah, take this call. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'm listening to you all, and you speak about the folks developing themselves even within the prison system. I do believe if folks go back to the Word of God, we will be able to develop ourselves. In the school of the prophets, what was taught mainly was poetry. You had the scriptures being taught, and trade. And we could see right now with the downturn of the world economy, the people who are making it are the tradesmen. And I believe if our brethren are encouraged to do a trade, it will fare very well for them. It does not say they should not develop themselves academically. Develop yourself academically, yes, but make sure every boy child has a trade. And not only the boys, also the female. Perchance something go wrong with the male of the house, then the female doesn't have to go and beg anybody. She has a trade also. And one of the things we ought to look at is how we deal with our women and how our women are being educated. Because you know the strength of the man by the way the woman carry herself, especially his wife and his daughter. And if we are educated along that line, I do believe that we will be a strong people, because when the male leaves the house and he goes out to do work or whatsoever, the person who is there to nurture the child and to give the child teaching and so forth is the female. So once a female is well-rounded, well-educated in the ways of God, that female will be able to set a standard, as the Bible speaks of the virtuous woman, and her husband is known in the gate as a result of her. I want to say thank you all for this opportunity of speaking, and you all can just cut me off, because I did not be able to cut off myself.
Thanks to you as well, caller. I greatly appreciate your call.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
And something, so like I say, for me, something like the caller mentioned there is very important is understanding that aspect of family. You understand? And if we as a people realizing, as you were saying earlier, we are all family. Even if the father of the house go into prison, the mother go into prison, the remaining of the house will understand that they have a family system or a family structure outside the home that is going to support them. You understand? As you just reading them, when we read, remember them that are in bonds in the book of Hebrew. You understand? We have to remember the people and them that is in prison.
That's right.
Whether justly or unjustly. This is what the Lord tell us to do. You understand? These are the things that religion and the Christian church supposed to be teaching. The Lord tell us to remember them that are in bond. Don't forget your brother and them that is in prison. You understand? Because they might get 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, and you know, they inside there and it's just like, yeah, they deserve that.
Yeah.
Or when they make the time, they go come out.
A lot of people too, when they know somebody come out of prison, majority and them have a steam in the hospital there. Them they start judge you one time. Die how the country running, so because it have people with love, and it have majority to me no love. Because look like how I joined this movement here as a young brother. Just about 5 minutes before I meet up earlier, I meet up our next group. Our next people who call the service line.
Right.
And I tell them my position, I even tell them I under certain agony, I hungry. I tell them as a big man, one time, because I don't play, I looking for help. Because nobody don't want to hear nobody with the hungry, you know. You know? And them was like, today's the Sabbath, it was tomorrow, you know? And a lot of church, I who talking, you know, I want a lot of church assistance because I want to change, I'm willing to change, you know? And I'm getting that hand, and it's when I meet this movement,
Right.
5 minutes
school.
after,
Yeah.
I was in a store shopping, you know, nobody tried to judge me, they tried to help me. So what I was saying to the people out there, if you say, well, you know a man from prison, or a man come out of prison, only that they shade him, because people can answer the feel nobody like them, and that would discourage somebody to do more shoppiness. You know, it's nothing to reach out to a fella, help him buy 2 cases of water for him, give him a start. You know, you're not a crime now because he's in prison, because anybody could go in prison, you know. Some people go in prison for years, and they never do nothing wrong. You know, so let me don't be the judge, let me be the helper. There's a little more love in the world, a little more understanding, and that will go along with the prisoners who in prison, who listening, quite a radio in prison,
Right.
who listening. I ask them all to stop feeling sorry for themselves. Stay strong as men, or they don't know the, or they will get opposite, and when they come out of jail and they ask them for help, you think there will be no bed or roses. But stay focused, because I just feel all kind of things in my mind sometimes. But I still believe in God the Almighty, and I stay in focus, and I still searching for help. Right now, asking anybody who listen to the program, who know about publisher, who does write book, you know, or they could contact me and all, because I want to write a book. I have things to tell people, you know. My number is 312-2266, you know. And I the help I'm looking for, because I want to encourage the people who are in prison, who are about to come out, to change the direction, you know. So, as we say, although see me plenty time again, more and more you'll hear from me on the radio station, along God permitted, and we'll keep encouraging people. And me, I have a lot of prison friends who's in prison, and right now I try and encourage them. I pleading with them to try to take my footstep. Although my footstep ain't perfect yet, but it's reaching there. You know, yeah, thanks.
Right. So again, as the brother say, and he mentioned, joining himself, because now a lot of brothers, as they start to learn now, they want to, join themselves to the truth.
Right.
Because now this is how he joined himself, because now he wants to learn the truth.
Right.
So when he mentioned, he joined himself to this movement, is he joining himself to learn more about the truth.
Right. Correct.
He wants to know more about the truth. And as time goes along now, this brother, again, the Lord will prove him.
Right.
The Lord will prove him. And how the Lord will prove him? By he being just like how he was treated, he would, interact or somewhere along might meet our next brother.
Right.
And demonstrate that same love. Not just by talk,
Correct.
as you say, meeting, different movement, but actually learning this truth.
Right.
And this is why we always mention that this truth is something that is not to take. The truth doesn't change. Always remember this.
Right.
The truth doesn't change. We, as we say, the scripture say a righteous man fall, but what he do? He get back up.
Right.
We see in the example of a brother wanting to make that change.
Right.
When the wicked man fall, what he do? The scripture say he continue in his ways.
Right.
This brother, again, would be proved. As he say, he joined this movement, as he say. But joining himself to the truth is what is going to prove here.
Right.
Joining, as we join the truth, we would be proved by the way we carry about ourselves, and by the way, as we say, we mention that we want change.
Right.
Change will come about again by just, as we say, here, say, and this, as we say, or just, talk. Change come about by you actually getting involved in the work. Bringing yourself on, as we say, to know more about this.
Right.
So, you shedding yourself, just as we always mention, there's always, in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, there's always change. And change could be made because we have programs, as I mentioned before.
Correct.
We have prison programs. We have rehabilitation programs.
Drug and alcohol. Correct.
Drug and alcohol. We even have, as we say, programs where we feed and clothe our brothers and sisters, even house them. But as that time go along now, this is how you're going to be proved.
Right.
By you, as we say, being that brother towards, our next brother.
Right.
Or being that brother, in demonstrating, that you down for this truth.
Okay.
You down for this truth. You down for this work. Because this, again, this is since I would say since 1969. Brothers, on the ground, the Lord have waking up black men,
right.
Hispanic men and Native Indian men, commanding General Yohana, look at, as we say, at the fruit of the Most High Christ produced through him.
Right.
All the men that stood under the Most High, the prophets are old, there was fruits that sprung, and as the scripture say, brought forth sevenfold, 20, it number them.
Right.
Because these men was about this truth. And as brothers wake up, again coming out at different, as we say, different conditions, they venture to know more about the truth.
Right.
Venture to know more about themselves. Because again, as we tell brothers, this captivity that we are under currently is one of the captivity where we don't even know we identity.
Absolutely correct.
So coming out of that condition, there would be, as we say, there would be pulling and tugging. But here the thing about it, to find the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge is where, you would start to learn more about this. Just like we were,
right.
As we say, we are brothers, again, in the school that walked the pathway. As a young man, we had brothers who was on the streets.
Right.
And the Most High God opened up their minds to actually want change. and pursue along that line. So again, as young man Dave, you know, pursue in this truth, joining himself to this truth, you know, to learn more about this truth. As we encourage brothers, there is a place.
Right.
We advise brothers that here is the only place where you would actually learn the truth.
Correct. Can.
Outside of this, just as you know, your experience,
Religion.
games, you know, not taking a man serious,
Right.
not understanding that, hey, they don't look down on a brother. They don't look down on, as we say, on family.
Right.
Because now, if I call myself, as we say, we say all are we black people, then now, if I look down on you or shun you, then now how all are we could be, you know, the same? Because now, when you demonstrating, you in a position where you could assist.
Right.
And just turn away, turn your back on your brother. What we learn in this house is always to remember one thing: to love our brother
Right.
as ourselves, because we had men who did the same thing for us,
Right. Can.
demonstrated that same quality in or showing, not just by talk, in showing what love is. And we should always be reminded of that.
Right.
Right? Yes, sir. Let's call her. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
See, my brothers. You hear me right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now, what I'm saying, right? We talk about prison. Prison carry two most valuable things: time and patience. And that is very important to you, to a person who is in prison, so that he can get out of the first prison he had to get out from, is the prison of himself, from within. Right? So when he come out of the next prison with the man-made prison, you understand? He will be, you know, walking the straight path. See, we follow and we fear man-made laws instead of divine laws, which we're supposed to put the divine laws first. You understand? Justice, love, togetherness, righteousness, you know, all these things, divine laws. We don't, you know, we don't fear that. We just misuse that and fear man-made laws. You understand? So what I'm saying, in order for we to really come back to ourselves, you understand? We need to show that brotherhood. That, you know, that good advice, you know? Because I will tell you something, when you're in prison, God give me a chance to develop yourself. And you know, they always say, when you're ready, then the master will show his face. That is what prison is all about. Because look, all the prophets was in prison, and what happened? Gates opened, the walkout. You understand what I'm saying? The Daniel lions, then you have to develop yourself while you're in there. And God said, what you bind on earth will bind in heaven. What you bind in heaven will bind on earth. In other words, you give me a chance. In order to come to him, then, you know, get away from all this stuff, evil thing, all this stuff, wrong things you're doing. Bind it. Don't deal with it. Hate, jealousy, anger, lust, greed, bad mind, envy. All these things you have to get out of here. You understand? And when you get out of here, you bind that. So, you know, in heaven, you do have that. And we're not teaching the children them the right thing. You understand? But a glass bottle program, let us not open. You know, people might and think, but you know, people might be calling because they might feel, you know, they walk away from this kind of, you know, this kind of teaching. We walk away from that. We believe in and we believe in name this and event, like what the churches teach. Name this and event, like all. Nothing uplifting towards the man and their spirit. So my friend, you all keep on doing what you all doing and have a good night.
Right,
You too, caller, for your call, which means thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate your call.
Yeah.
Something with the call, I was just saying this, like I say, if I made that important, that brotherhood. We have to be able to have that brotherhood.
What's that?
You understand? For one another, that brotherhood and that sisterhood. Look, something the young man Dave was saying earlier. When he say come out of prison and now he want to show the men and them that in prison still. You understand? How they could serve the Most High. How you could start understanding the Lord. You understand? We have to have that brotherhood and that sisterhood for one another.
Right.
That is absolutely important. You understand? And to the caller that just called, the one before and the one that just called, you understand? Excellent points all they bring.
Right.
Excellent points. We have to have that brotherhood. We have to be able to move away. You understand? From these religions and the things that they're teaching us that is not beneficial for us. Otherwise, we're going to keep spiraling in that same place over and over again. As I rightfully say in Salakia, say if I may, as I rightfully saying, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here.
Right.
Come and learn your identity,
Right.
which is most important because we're going to be tying up ourselves in things which we should not be tying up ourselves in. For example, as we was always saying, 2025 people still worshiping that white image, which is not Christ.
Right.
You understand? Come and learn your identity. Come and learn your history. Come and learn what your forefathers did in serving the Most High. Come and learn the errors.
Right.
Because our forefathers, they made errors too.
Right.
You understand? But when they made their errors, they understood what is the right footing that they need to put their foot on. You understand? Salakia, sir.
Right. And you know, just before we close up, I just want to read this figure, and you know, as you know, young man Dave brought out earlier in the part of the program concerning, you know, that life. This is what, you know, is allocated, and that's just when you're reading what they allocate in 2025,
Right.
in 2026, as I say, right? But we know that the year begins in spring, right? So what they allocated, you know, in 2025, it say Trinidad and Tobago prison system operates at a significant net cost to the taxpayer. For example, prison services was allocated approximately 517 million for its operations in the 2025 cycle. Right, and when you read in previous years before, it's like 5 billion. So now look at that, what they allocated,
Right.
you know, just to push drugs and guns in the community, just for our brothers and sisters, our brothers, you know, to go down a pathway of life of crime, to end up, as we say, to their program to facilitate their business.
Right.
Prison is our business.
Correct. Real business.
Is our business, and as you know, the brother say, the Lord, you know, was with him, and he was, you know, he had say Barakatai Hawaii or Shai, you know, for you know, actually bringing it on the program, you know, to making it, as you mentioned that, as you mentioned that, you know, to being off, you know, the Lord freely. But as we tell brothers, now your pathway now is to walk and to learn more about this truth, to know more. So as we say, our daughters, the scripture says, as thou daughters, teach them.
Right.
So now you're learning and being the example as a brother could be, it could set, you know, that pathway for younger brothers to come in.
Correct.
That is the motive, that is the goal, that is what I want, that is what I have in mind. I don't want to go astray. I want to help out my virgin them in prison to give them an understanding, because my influence good because how I is in that carnal world, that wicked world out there, I have influence over a lot of people who will see I change, who see I willing to change, and want to take that first step after me.
Right.
You know, so I just ask them to hold the faith, hold strong, hold patient, pray more, you know, try and stay focused, because we don't know how days. It's really nice, it will never be nice, you know, and this will surely the best, you know, and just keep on, don't forget the Father Almighty God, keep on calling them, don't give up, you know, because I'm not giving up. I sleep on a bench for 3 nights in Port of Spain, and I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, and what's part is tonight, you know, plenty better than last week, you know, and I'm hoping for it to be more better next week too.
Right.
You know, so God could make that happen alone, nobody is.
Right.
Just try and trust in yourself. And before God is one of it, good night to my loving mother, my 3 daughters, you know.
Right. Yeah. Most and Christ.
Most and Christ.
So again, you know, we hear it, from the brother again, again we sit Tawada, for coming on the program, for sharing, that light, and we encourage brothers and sisters again, young black men in Trinidad, to follow. And again, there's only one pathway, which is to actually know who you are, which
Right.
is this here, to come in this school. This is why, again, there's a school location here in Trinidad where black, Hispanic, and Native Indians could learn their culture. And
Right.
again, we invite, our Hispanic brothers to come on the program.
Right.
We invite our Native Indian brothers to come on the program and, could share some light as well. Just as, this brother did, young man Dave did, right? And, for all brothers and sisters again, or listening, viewing brothers again, just stay tuned as well. Again, Commander General Yana is providing, is going to have a food and clothing drive,
Right.
As that time go along, stay tuned to our webpage, right? All our social media pages, right? For the information, right? Again, we have prison programs, we have rehabilitation programs, right? We have programs, to facilitate or to give aid to
Right.
the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Indian, and as well, we don't shun, as we say, even our oppressors, because they would be fed as well.
Right.
Because the scripture say, when the righteous in authority, the whole earth will rejoice, because they would
Okay.
fall, under that righteous umbrella.
Right.
To be, we when as we say, we will neglect, as we say, food to the needy, because that in itself, it goes to show the people who run in this place, right? So just a reminder again, just a reminder, one more thing, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, which will be held in Houston, Texas, right, which is April 4th, right? Also for brothers and sisters here in Trinidad, you could come on down to the school April 4th. The next upcoming feast day, which will be the Feast of Purim, right? We tell brothers and sisters as well, you come on down, right? Hope to see, young man Dave down there,
Yeah.
right? Hope to see young man Dave coming through, as we say, as time go along, Lord allow, he open up that pathway where this brother, would be able to make movements and, be the example as he, mentioned that he would want to be. And that footstep or that start, again, it is you, right? Just like, we were, and we still here today,
Right.
to be the example amongst the brothers and sisters. We not separating ourselves, as we say, and feel that, we still fighting.
Better, yeah.
We still fighting that fight.
Can.
We still, moving.
Right.
We still, bringing this to brothers and sisters, right? And this is a reminder for us.
Again, don't forget, school location, light pole number 1, Morris Street in Point 14. All blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, doors are always open to you.
That's right.
Come into the school, learn your history, learn your culture, learn the Bible. Bible have nothing to do with religion. That is your book.
That's right. Right? And
with that,
with that we say.
Same thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say good night to my loving sister who gave me support. All my little,
Messiah
all
Christ.
my little,
Right.
discomfort,
Right.
And good night to Miss Scotty.
Right. Most
Good night to
Christ.
Trinidad and today.
Messiah
Most
Christ.
Christ.
So that's for that.
Right.
And with that,
You say.
shalom.
Shalom.
Tawada to the listening
Yeah,
audience, Tawada to the callers as well too.
Yeah, Tawada to the callers as well too. Right. Down there?
Don't forget the
Yeah?
now right here
Oh?
on the board now.
Oh, no. Anything. We'll have a few seconds. Right.
ISUPK, Trinidad and Tobago, under Commanding General Yohana. We will be live on the streets, 91.9 FM, every Thursday from 7 p.m. Hosted by Officer Sawapya Allah and Officer Mathkoyak.
West to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, live every Thursday night from 7 p.m. on the streets, 91.9 FM.
John every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Live on the street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits. One of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM.
All right. Here we go. Great afternoon, everyone. This is Alkaline